Oh, here's a Bo
The
Nix one.
2024 NFL
Bo Nix
draft
is next Drew
tied
Brees.
the most quarterbacks ever taken.
Bro, that is insane, bro. 6 QBs in the first 12 picks, and then it took like 3 full rounds, all the way to like the 4th or 5th round, to fucking Spencer Rattler gets drafted. That's
first
crazy.
round. In 1983, there were 6, but it took 27 picks to get there when the Dolphins took Dan Marino. It only took 12 picks this year when the Broncos drafted Bo
Who the fuck is this guy?
Nix. Only
took
12 picks this year when the Broncos drafted Bo Nix. Bo Nix is a name every college football fan knows. He was the top dual threat.
Who drafted Spencer? That's a good fucking question. Damn, I forget, bro. I want to say it's a green team. I really don't know.
Bo Nix is a name every college football fan knows. He was the top dual threat quarterback in the 2019 class. Jaden Daniels, Sam Howell, and Max Duggan rounded out that top 4. Nix was a 5-star who was born in Auburn. Whose dad, Patrick Nix, played quarterback at Auburn. He was destined to be a Tiger and immediately made himself known. He was the starter as a true freshman, and in his first college game, Nix led number 16 Auburn to a comeback.
So he's gonna back up fucking what's his face? The dude from Toy Story.
And number 11 Oregon. That was on August 31st, 2019, a long time ago. Nix beat Mac Jones in Alabama in the Iron Bowl 2 that season, and he went on to win SEC Freshman of the Year after he had 2,500 yards, 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 7 rushing touchdowns. Expectations for Nix were high, and then came the 2020 COVID season. He only had 2,400 yards, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and 7 rushing touchdowns. Nix didn't make a jump, and after the season, Auburn hired a new head coach, Brian Harsin, who Nix said he was miserable playing for. Nix suffered a season-ending ankle injury in 2021, throwing for 2,300 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, plus 4 rushing touchdowns.
It's crazy because I feel like in the middle of the season, this season, like in the middle of the college football season, I feel like Bo Nix was like regarded as like one of the top like quarterbacks going into this draft. But I feel like a lot of people declared and a lot of people like rose their draft stock at the end because of Penix and JJ McCarthy's deep playoff run, shit like that, and then Jaden Daniels Heisman winning
before he went down.
Performance.
With 2 years
he
of
fell,
eligibility
kept
left,
falling.
Nix decided to transfer to Oregon to play for their new head coach, Dan Lanning. Year 1 in Eugene, Nix had 3,600 yards, 29
That's where they play at?
7 interceptions, and 14
dirty.
rushing touchdowns. A career year, but we hadn't seen anything yet. Last season, Nix had 4,500 yards, 45 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, and 6 rushing touchdowns, all while breaking the NCAA record, completing 77.45% of his passes. The Ducks only lost twice, both times to Washington and Michael Penix Jr. Nix was 3rd in Heisman voting behind both times to Washington and Michael.
Who gave bro a neon green fucking shiesty to wear during the game?
Penix Jr.
Who the fuck?
Junior. Nix was 3rd in Heisman voting behind Penix and Jaden Daniels. He started
where'd Troy Franklin go? He went beginning of the second round, right?
Most for a quarterback in NCAA history. Bo Nix is experienced and proven. He may not have the craziest talent, but I can see the vision.
Broncos, oh shit.
Sean Payton has won a Super Bowl.
Oh shit! Troy Franklin and Bo Nix at the Broncos together.
A ton of success as the head coach
that's a good move.
Of the Saints. And what did he have in New Orleans? A reliable quarterback. A lot of experts pre-draft compared Bo Nix to Drew Brees. Brees had one hell of an NFL career. He won Super Bowl 44 and was the Super Bowl MVP. He won Offensive Player of the Year twice, won Comeback Player of the Year, and was the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Brees is a surefire Hall of Famer and one of the most decorated quarterbacks in NFL history, but was never known for his raw talent. He was a quick passer with a super fast release. You could say the same about Bo Nix. Drew Brees was incredibly accurate. He completed 74.4% of his passes in 2018, an NFL record. Nix just had the most accurate passing season in college football history. There are a lot of similarities between the two, an accurate passing season in college football history.
Bro, what are these jerseys, bro? What am I looking at right now, bro?
There are
this shit is fucking
a lot
disgusting.
of similarities between the two, and Peyton and Brees had a lot of success together. If Peyton is trying to find a reincarnated Drew Brees, he might have found him. It's nothing flashy, but if it works, it works. If you're looking for a reason to believe in Bo Nix, it's Sean Payton. It goes without saying that the Broncos need a franchise quarterback. It's been a real struggle at the position, and hopefully, just maybe, Bo Nix can change that. It was pretty clear that Denver needed a quarterback after it decided to release Russell Wilson this offseason. He was signed under the Nathaniel Hackett regime and struggled in year one with 3,500 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. It wasn't pretty, but Wilson was a lot better last season playing for Sean Payton. He finished with 3,070 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. It was much better, but Denver wanted to move on and save as much as it could on the 5-year, $245 million extension they gave Russ in 2022. The Broncos did decide to trade for Zach Wilson from the Jets. He's been by every measure. The Broncos did decide to
Oh, a 7th round pick.
Trade for Zach Wilson from the Jets. He's been, by every measure, a bust, but gives good depth to the position and has experience starting in the NFL. He started 33 games in New York, throwing 23 touchdowns to 25 interceptions. Denver also has Jared Stidham, who started the final 2 games of the season for the Broncos last year. He had 2 touchdowns and a pick. Ben DiNucci is on the roster too. He started a single game for the Cowboys in 2020. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not the Broncos want Nix to start week 1. He is older. Nix and Zach Wilson are only about 6 months apart. There's probably going to be a quarterback competition of some sorts in training camp. We'll just have to wait and see how it pans out. Zach Wilson obviously failed
dumpster
with the
fire,
Jets,
bro.
but he wasn't set up to succeed very well there. Hopefully, that's not the same case with Bo Nix and Denver. The Broncos' top receiving target is Courtland Sutton. He's had at least 700 yards in every
that's a
season
name. That's a good name,
including a 1,000-yard season in 2019. Just except when he tore his ACL in 2020. Denver did sign Josh Reynolds, who was solid in 2023 and had the second 600-yard season of his career. Then there's Marvin Mims Jr., a second-rounder last year. He had 22 catches for 377 yards and a touchdown as a rookie. The Broncos certainly hope he can make a jump now. Denver also traded up early into the 4th round to take a wide receiver, a guy Bo Nix knows very well, Troy Franklin. Franklin's coming off of 1,383 yards and 14 touchdowns at Oregon, all led the team while he was catching passes from Bo Nix. They already have a rapport, and I love pairing a young quarterback with his college wide receiver. We'll have to see what happens for the Broncos at tight end with Greg Dulcich coming on.
Like obviously the top 3 wide receivers, but after that, I feel like he was like
because if this happens for the Broncos at tight end.
So like 4th or 5th,
coming off of playing only 2 games because of his hamstring, while Adam Trautman had 200 yards. Running back Javonte Williams is coming off of about 800 yards and 3 touchdowns on 217 carries, while also catching 47 passes for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Broncos also used a 5th-round pick on Audric Estime. He rushed for 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns on 210 carries at Notre Dame this past season. Denver's offensive weapons aren't anything too special, but credit to Sean Payton for fixing the O-line so fast. The Broncos threw money at right tackle Mike McGlinchey and Ben Powers, which made the world of a difference. Garrett Bowles, Luke Wattenberg, and Quinn Miners are all returners too. I don't love the weapons, but having a good offensive line is so important for a rookie quarterback. The Broncos need to make sure that Bo Nix is in a good position to succeed, because they don't exactly have a good track record. The Broncos have drafted a quarterback in the 1st round 3 times this century. The most recent was Paxton Lynch, who played for former Virginia Tech head coach Justin Fuente at Memphis. He went 26th at the 2016 draft, and he was the 3rd quarterback off the board behind Jared Goff and Carson Wentz. And he only started 4 games in his NFL career, all for Denver. Lynch threw 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. That's it. Paxton Lynch was a bust. In 2010, the Broncos took Tim Tebow.
That's a good pick, right?
He was the 2nd quarterback selected after Sam Bradford went 1st. Tebow is iconic, but he didn't last in the pros. Tebow Mania was special, don't get me wrong. Denver got hot in 2011, made the playoffs, where Tebow hit Demaryius Thomas, and he took off for an 80-yard touchdown on the first play of
Demaryius Thomas.
That is a play and a run that will never be forgot, but it doesn't change the fact that Tim Tebow wasn't a good NFL quarterback. He started in 14 games in his 2 years as a Bronco. Tebow had 2,400 yards, 17 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and rushed for 12
Demaryius Thomas died?
touchdowns. Finally, Jay Cutler, the 11th overall pick at the 2006
Or who else? The man's time is young. He wasn't even 40.
NFL draft. Cutler had a long, good NFL career, but it was mostly in Chicago. He only played 3 seasons for the Broncos, started in 37 games,
how did he die?
9,000 yards, and 54 touchdowns, and
car,
37 interceptions. The 3 Broncos first-round quarterbacks selected this century haven't started a game for the team past year 2. Sean Payton needs that to not be the case for Bo Nix.
The 2024 NFL.
Yeah. Bo Nix is going to be another Paxton Lynch. Probably won't survive 3 seasons in the NFL, respectfully. Going to be another bust. They drafted him at 12. Seizure? Damn.